friends now, huh? We're friends now. Fluffy, you just let me pick you right up. We're friends now. A big snow in the forecast, so that's supposed to come maybe starting tonight. So I gotta get a bunch of new bedding into all the coops so the chickens can get a little extra insulation when the temperatures drop down and when they're really wet. Because when they're already wet, it's a little harder for them to get warm, but chickens are amazing at generating their own heat. And the ducks sleep under here. They like more open space, just naturally, that's what they like. So I'm gonna throw a bunch of chips under here so hopefully they can stay warm as well. Struggle bus. I mean, I'm glad they pack a lot of chips into these bags because you're getting what you pay for, but ugh. And the thing is, you don't really even have to spread it very much because they love to get in there and dig around. So as soon as I get out of here, they'll all come in here and they'll poke around and get everything all organized exactly how they want it. So I'm just gonna leave it in piles in there and they'll arrange it how they want it. This is all temporary. I'll just start with that. We just kind of, don't tell Jeremy, but I probably put the cart before the horse a little bit, and I really wanted to get chickens. And even before we had the house foundation down, I think we had chickens. There is a old barn nearby that was being torn down, and the owner said we could take as much of the wood as we wanted. So most of this is made out of old barn wood, so most of it is completely free except for the chicken wire, which can kind of add up, but we'll reuse as much of it as we can when we move it to the other side of the property. All right, I'm gonna get out of here so the chickens and ducks can make it their home again. Today we rented this big truck and we were able to get most of our stuff out of storage. We've had our stuff in storage for a long time now, ever since we moved here, maybe 3-4 years. And so we were really done paying for that storage rental every month. So Jeremy built this cool building. And one of these days I'll have to have him kind of walk you through how he built it because it's really cool. Always competition around here. We are now going to open up a bunch of the boxes now that we have them into that building back there. And we're gonna open up those boxes and kind of try to reorganize them. We got some plastic Tupperware containers, the big ones. So we're gonna see how much of this we can organize well. I'm gonna be selling a lot of stuff too. So if you guys want to go over to my Facebook and check it out, I'm probably going to have a lot of stuff up on Facebook Marketplace. We have a lot of good furniture. I will be selling a lot of vintage clothing. So I'm excited about it. It's going to be fun. It's nasty and muddy out, but Ivan. Oh, yeah, so it's nasty and muddy out, but farm chores still have to be done. So we've got a big storm coming. Good job, Ivan. We have a big snowstorm coming, possibly. So I'm trying to prepare and get a little extra bedding in the coops. I've already done the big coop back here. Now I'm gonna go and do the pink coop over here. Want to say hi to Jeremy? We're just full of energy right now. We've just been chilling all day and doing absolutely nothing. That's not true. See that big U-Haul? It was full of our stuff and we got it into our building here. And now we have to go through it all. So Mama needs to make an appointment at the chiropractor. Probably go ahead and do that. It'll be fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I cannot believe the snow we've had already this year. 2 decent snows in 1 week. That's not so common around here. So I'll let you in on a little secret. I don't really have the cold weather gear. Like, we got into the single digits last night. So I am wearing my super warm fuzzy winter coat, but also my bathrobe. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? It's warm and fuzzy and it does the job. My legs are cold. This is just, I'm loving the snow. Loving it. I'm itching for spring though. I really am. I have just ordered the seeds I'll need for our spring planting, which I need to start like ASAP. Actually, I probably could have done with starting it a couple weeks ago in the greenhouse, of course. But we have such hot summers around here, and it heats up so fast that really by May, April, it's heated up so much that all of the brassicas, which is like cabbage and broccoli and cauliflower and things like that, they all bolt, which is they go to seed, which is they get into like little pretty sprouts and you think they're going to do great, and then they shoot up these high stems and then they flower, which is where their seeds are located. So it's just them saying, it's too hot for me, I'm going to go ahead and put out some seeds for myself and reseed myself. So it drives me crazy that they do that, but they do. So I'm going to try and get a really early start this year, really stay ahead of it. I'm going to have to keep my heater on in my greenhouse, of course, because it's it got into the single digits last night, and that would have killed something.
Rusty, what do you think of this cold weather? Huh? What do you think? What do you think of this cold weather, buddy?
I'm over here at the pink coop this morning because I don't know if I communicated it fully, but I've been letting my chickens free range because we are in this kind of nice little pocket here on our property, and we're far away from the road. Rusty does a really good job at keeping an eye on everything, so we don't really have any predator problems anymore. And we let them free range. They eat grass and bugs, and that makes for the healthiest eggs and the healthiest birds. But I have a couple birds that are still just very stubbornly wanting to sleep outside, roost outside in the trees, which is what's natural for birds. I get it. See, this is Doris. Named after Doris Day because she's blonde and beautiful and sleek and cute and adorable. And she's been very stubbornly wanting to sleep out here in the tree, which, Doris, it got down to like 9 degrees last night. You've got to be freezing. See, I'm tougher than I'm all in here right now, probably dying to come out. So I'm gonna let them out, and I gotta let you see it. It's pretty funny.
Good morning, babies. Good morning. Hey. Hi, Minerva. You gonna come out? Come on. Hey, good morning. Say, you know what? It's really cold and I'd rather not.
There's actually 2 sides to the pink coop because I originally had some birds in here that needed separated. So I kind of did 2 separate stalls, if you will, and the middle of the coop is divided on the inside.
Good morning, kids. Hey, Lavender. Hey, Lavender. She's like, shut up and feed me.
Every once in a while, Lavender likes to snuggle, and it's really funny because she really wants me to hold her. If I sit down and snuggle with her, she wants me to pick her up like when she was a baby. It's really funny because I raised these guys from eggs and they were in the camper. So I handled them a lot, and one of these days I'll show you my setup. It's like a big, it's like a livestock tub. This is my Lavender. Actually, I think he's a male. I think it's Mr. Lavender. I called this one Lavender because it is what they call birds that are this kind of like gray blue color or have that coloring in them. So she ended up being called Lavender, but I think you're a boy because she's awful big. He's awful big. You know, I don't know. Anyway. Sometimes you're a snuggler, aren't you? Yeah, she's a good goose. She's a good goose. The thing is about raising birds from the egg, they just have this kind of maternal attachment to you. But the older they get, the more they get kind of outside of those instincts, and they live outside, so they're used to taking care of themselves, and they kind of, I guess you could call it, they realize their autonomy, and they don't need me anymore, only for food. But it's funny because they still have an instinct that I'm mom, so it's kind of fun. I love it. Oh, you're cute. I got up out here to check on the chickens because it was very cold last night. And everybody kind of picks up pretty good when it's that cold. They have a good instinct, but I just wanted to come and double check. Here's our friend Maverick, looking all majestic in the morning light. I had some of you messaging me to check on him and see how he was doing and see how he was handling the rest of this cold weather, but I think he's doing great. Look at this boy. He's so beautiful. Yeah, he's doing really good. And I think he just found a good dry place to coop up. I think he's actually started sleeping in the main coop. So that's good. What a good boy. Here's Maverick. He's doing good this morning. I had a couple of you message me asking how he was doing and to get updates on how he is coping with this cold weather. But as you can see, it's morning and he has a completely dry crust and he's looking good, and I'm holding him. He's nice and warm. So I feel good about Maverick's chances now. I think he's kind of wised up and realized you should probably sleep inside the coop at night, huh? Yeah. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Maybe we're friends now. I think we're friends now. We're friends now. Huh? We're friends now. Aren't we? You just let me pick you right up. Yeah. We're friends now. Good boy. There you can really see Maverick's pretty tail feathers when he's all dry. Look at you. This is Minerva, after Minerva McGonagall in Harry Potter. She's one of the professors in Harry Potter, and she is kind of attached to me. She had a bad eye. I don't know if you can see. I don't know what happened to it, and we treated it with antibiotics, but sometimes birds just, or animals in general, sometimes they just develop things and there's really not much you can do. But it seems to be kind of settled now, whatever it is. And she's still got a good eye. She gets around great. But during the time that I was handling her twice a day, every day, for, I I think maybe 4 weeks, I treated her, and she just got used to being held, and now she follows me around. Also because she knows that she gets treats when she gets treated. So. I just finished my morning yoga and I feel a lot better. Being cold outside kind of gets all of your muscles tensed up, and it feels good to stretch out, doesn't it, Johnny? There are quite a few cats in this camper with me right now. Just so you know, I am a certifiably crazy cat lady. Crazy cat lady right here. Crazy, crazy cat lady. Crazy cat lady. It's me, crazy cat lady. They don't live in here all the time, but whenever it's super cold outside, I do let them in for a few minutes to get warm. It's like 12 degrees outside right now, so they're just inside to warm up for a minute, and then they're gonna go back out, but yeah, it's a lot. This tiny space. Also, like, every time I let them in, I have to clean again, so it's kind of a pain. One thing I do need to share with you, now, I am very passionate about being transparent here on this channel. If I talk about my successes and I show you what is going well on the farm, I will also show you my mistakes. What mistake I made was I used some old soil that I had used before for seed starting, and whenever I potted those plants up, I still had all of the soil inside of those little starter pods, so I just dumped them into a bucket to use later. Thing I didn't really think about too much was they sat then in the greenhouse, in the hot greenhouse. That greenhouse gets over 100 degrees on a daily basis during the summer. So that soil actually completely dried out. I don't know what actually happens to explain it to you scientifically, but I do know that this can happen, and I knew that, and I hadn't really thought of it because I thought it was good soil. It was kind of expensive soil to begin with, good organic soil, but it just dried up and now it won't hold water. So I brought all these houseplants in, and then I went to water them a couple days later, and they won't hold water. That soil won't hold water. I mean, the water just goes straight through. So I just share that to caution you all that if you're reusing soil, just test it first to make sure it can hold water, which a good way you can do that is put it in a container that has drainage, like holes in the bottom, and pour your water in. And if the water goes in, you can see it kind of expanding and soaking all of it in, and the water holds, then it's a good soil. But if you pour that water in the top and it just runs directly out of the bottom drainage holes, then you know it's not going to hold water for your plants, which then your plants can't get the water they need, and they also can't get the nutrients they need because that soil is completely depleted. I had heard about this from another Homestead channel that I follow that actually happened to them, and they shared it, and I thought, oh, this soil is still good, no problem, I'm gonna just use it. And well, it turns out it wasn't. So I wanted to share that with you all. So in case you had some old potting soil that had been sitting in an outbuilding for a year or something, just check it first before you go repotting all of your houseplants, and then putting them back into your house, into your hangers and everything. Yeah, I should have done that, but I didn't. So I just wanted to share that with y'all so you didn't make the same mistake. Also, fun little fact, in this camper, these ceilings are not like wooden. It's kind of like a composite board. So I got this nice big pot. This big, it was kind of probably about that big around. I was so excited to put my plant in there. It's a beautiful pot. I got it at Marshall's. I was super excited. It was so cute. And I hung it up in my macrame hanger, and where it was before in a smaller pot. And then I went out of town that afternoon. Actually, we went on our trip to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I took y'all with me on a previous video. So while I was gone, I called my husband Jeremy, and he said, well, I just want to tell you something that happened. This is wrong. I'm a pushover. I can't help it. I love him. And it's cold. Anyway. So, okay, don't fight. My husband Jeremy calls me while I'm gone and says, so something happened last night. I immediately go to like, oh my goodness, a coyote got a chicken. Something bad happened to our elderly dog Molly, who's having a lot of health issues right now. I immediately go for like all of the worst things that can happen. And he said, well, you know that big plant that you just repotted and hung up again? He said, well, it fell to the ground. And because that soil was so dry, also, it was twice as bad because that soil was not holding together at all. Like a lot of times, if you've got good soil in a pot and it's well watered and everything, you can almost tip that pot over. That soil will almost stick into that pot even though you put it sideways because it's holding itself together. But this soil happened to be the bad soil that I had just used, so it was super dried out. So when it fell, the soil just went everywhere, like all into this couch, all into the carpets, under the cushions, back behind my sewing table, and I felt really bad because I was going to be gone for a couple more days and Jeremy had to clean all that mess up. So, I say all that to say, check your soil first, number one. Number two, check the weight of your pot with the quality of your ceiling. Also the quality of your hook, because the hook just pulled straight out of this composite ceiling and a huge mess. So this is a cautionary tale. Check your soil, make sure it holds water. Check your ceiling, make sure it can hold the weight of the pot that you're putting up. So yeah, successes, failures, I'm gonna share them all with you. I'm completely transparent right now. Y'all take it or leave it. This dog is so devoted to me. Rusty, aren't you? He's a good boy. I kept trying to get him to go to the other end of the camper, but he just kept coming back here and wanted to lay on the end of my mat. And you know what? There is something peaceful about practicing yoga with your pets around. I don't know, there's something about like animals, cats, dogs, just animals in general. I feel like they're just so much more at peace. And I know you'll have those freak breeds every once in a while that are super high strung, but I feel like they're just so much more in tune with the earth and what's happening. And I don't know, maybe I'm just really relaxed by animals, which is why I surround myself with them all the time. This is yeah, maybe that's why I do it. Yeah. This is Pippin. He's such a sweet boy. Oh, okay. Rusty, you're sweet too. You're sweet too. Oh, thank you. Oh. Rusty's also super jealous. Just giving me a little anxiety right now because when I was a kid, I had a big dog that jumped up on my bed, and he actually stepped on my eye while it was open, just like that. And I got a bunch of scratches in my eye, and it was really awful. Okay. All right. Anyway, I wanted to take this moment to acknowledge and appreciate the sweet, wonderful vibes that our animals give us, that our pets bring us. So if you ever practice yoga or stretch or anything like that, let your animals be near you, because there's some kind of peace and contentment that goes along with having them around. I think they're just way more in tune with nature than we are. So yeah, just a little food for thought. What do you think? What do you think, Rusty? Are you happy now? Molly's over here. Oh, yeah, there she is. Oh, yeah, she's a good girl, too. Rusty. Oh, God. Oh, danger. Danger. Send help. So Chonk and I are going to sign off here. I am going to have to re-clean this camper and put these cats outside. So I will see you all later. I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you next Wednesday.